Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by. Welcome to the Danny Garcia, Eric Morales, Devon Alexander, and Randall Bailey conference call. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. Later, there will be an opportunity for questions and comments. Instructions will be given at that time. As a reminder, this conference call is being recorded. I would now like to turn the conference call over to your host for today, Kelly Swanson. Kelly, please go ahead.
Okay, thanks so much, operator. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. We have a lot of work to do on this call today. This is the first of two conference calls back-to-back. One is set for tomorrow to talk about the October 20th World Title Fight Extravaganza. Of course, as everybody knows, this is bringing boxing back to Brooklyn from the new Barclays Center. And, again, championship boxing has not been in Brooklyn in over 80 years. It will be televised on Showtime. As you received in your media alert, we have four fighters available today, and we're going to start this call with Devon Alexander and Randall Bailey. He's joined by his promoter, Lou DiBella. And just to give the particulars of the fight and what you can look forward to, I'm going to turn it over to Robert Diaz from Golden Boy Promotions to make the opening statement. Robert?
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much. I want to just give you a little bit of insight. This is a very exciting night of boxing that's going back to Brooklyn, like Kelly mentioned, after 80 years since the last world title fight. And we're going back with 4 world title fights. We're going back with 4 world title fights to open up the beautiful Barclays Center. In the main event, Danny Garcia and Eric El Terrible Morales, who you'll be hearing from later. Paulie Malignaggi defends his title against Pablo Cesar Cano. Hassam Nadam will be fighting Peter Quillin. And, of course, you'll be hearing also from former world champion Devon Alexander and current world champion Randall Bailey. Also, a stacked undercard with Brooklyn's finest, Daniel Jacobs, Luis Colazo, young prospect undefeated Eddie Gomez, Demetrius Salita comes back to Brooklyn, and Boyd Nelson. Don't miss it. It's on Showtime. Telecast begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll have Showtime Extreme beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Tickets prices are $300, $200, $100, and $50. So don't miss it. A great night of fights at the new Barclays Center. We want to thank also our sponsors, Corona, DeWalt Tools, and AT&T. I'd like to introduce right now the promoter for Randall Bailey, as that fight is in association with DiBella Promotions, President Lou DiBella. Lou?
Thanks, Robert. Great to be with you, and it's great to be part of what's going to be a historic night of boxing at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, and the return of boxing to Brooklyn is a truly exciting night. Showtime's put together with Golden Boy a packed show with 4 title fights and an undercard that does feature a lot of New York's finest. So I'm looking forward for Randall getting the opportunity to defend his title on the show. Randall's the hard puncher in the sport. He can change a fight with just one punch from either hand. I don't think there's anyone in the sport who's a more devastating puncher. Devon Alexander is a terrific young boxer. Probably will at some point in the fight be ahead in rounds. But if Randall lands one punch, then he retains his belt. And I think that's what brings this fight so much excitement and so much interest. So it's my pleasure to introduce the KO King, the IBF Welterweight Champion of the World, Randall Bailey. Randall, you want to say a few words?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here on the show, and I'm looking forward to October 20th. I just want to thank my promoter, Lou DiBella, and Golden Boy for getting this fight done and rescheduled so me and Devon can make this thing happen.
Thank you, Randall. And with that, I'd like to introduce to you Devon the Great Alexander out of St. Louis, Missouri, 23 wins, 1 loss, 13 knockouts. He's a former world champion as super lightweight WBC and IBF junior welterweight champion. No stranger to big punchers, as he's recently beat Lucas Matisse and Marcos Maidana, 2 of the biggest punchers in the division. Devon, the great Alexander.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank everybody for having me. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to be coming to Brooklyn. This is my first time fighting in Brooklyn at the new arena, the Barclays Arena. I was ready, 4 weeks ago, to get this fight on, but I'm definitely still ready, and I'm ready to become three-time world champion again. So thanks for having me again.
Okay, great. Thank you, Devon. Okay, we are going to turn it over to media questions, and just as a reminder, following these two excellent fighters, we will be joined by Eric Morales and Danny Garcia for the second part of this call. So, operator, if you could open it now for questions, and we will begin to this portion of the conference call. Thank you.
Thank you. If you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. This will place your question in the order it was received. Once again, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad now, and we'll give it a moment for the questions to queue up. Our first question comes from Lem Satterfield with theringtv.com.
Hey, everybody. How you guys doing?
Oh, ma'am.
Hey, Randall, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Randall, can you briefly just kind of touch on what it has taken to reacclimate yourself to sparring, including the back injury? I know how it happened. You explained how it happened, but, what was the recovery process and the transition back into sparring?
Just required a lot of rest. I had to sit out and just take the medicine that they had prescribed for me, and just relax for a couple of weeks.
What was that last part?
Randall, could you just put the phone closer? Could you speak into the phone a little bit more? It's hard to hear you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
I had to take some time off, sit back, and relax for about 2 weeks.
And take the medication, you said?
Right. Yes, and take the medication that was prescribed.
And how difficult was it to reacclimate yourself to sparring, throwing the right hand, which you said is one of the reasons you hurt it? How was that transition?
I do that naturally, so it wasn't no fear in feeling pain granted, because at the end of the day, when you're in a fight, whatever you hurt, you still gotta go on. But just in this situation, it didn't make no sense for me to go into a fight injured.
Okay. My last question for you is, leading up to the fight with Jones, you were very understated. You came to the podium, in fact, at the press conference, and you were very short and sweet. As opposed to then, now as champion, you've been obviously very vocal about Devon, and a lot of that exchange has come from, you and Kevin Cunningham. Kevin Cunningham is used to this. He does this all the time. Is there any notion that maybe you're being distracted by this, taken out of your game, or are you completely focused in spite of all the trash talking?
I am completely focused, because it's all comedy to me, tell you the truth, because Mike Jones' trainer was doing the same thing. Vaughn Jackson was doing the same thing before the fight, saying a whole bunch of stuff, talking a whole bunch of smack, and now he's unemployed. So at the end of the day, on October 20th, maybe Devon will be finding him some new employees.
Okay, do you guys, Devon and Kevin, obviously, do you guys have a response to that? I'm going to start with Devon first. Devon, as I said before, you're accustomed to your trainer talking like he does, and you going in the ring and doing your work. Can you talk about that relationship and how you just kind of stay back and kind of talk when it's necessary or ready?
Yeah. Man, my coach got a beautiful relationship, and whatever my coach says, it goes for me too. You know, my coach knows what he says, and he knows what he's doing. So, you know, whatever he says, you know, I'm right behind him. For me, you know, I talk. I will talk, but you know, the point is, man, Bailey's get in the ring, and these hands is going to do the talking. You know, I don't have to talk about what I'm going to do, who I'm going to do it to, or whatever, because October 20th, action is going to speak way louder than words. You know, you can say what you want to say, but you still got to get in the ring. So that's what I'm going to leave it at that.
No pressure for you when Kevin talks like he does?
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, that's Kevin. Kevin's, you know, he's part of my team, and that's him. You know, you got to be yourself, you know, and I'm going to be myself. You know, that's how teams work. Everybody play their position, and that's what I'm going to do.
Kevin, you heard what Randall said about you potentially going to be unemployed after this fight. You have a response?
I don't think Kevin's on the line. Is Kevin on the line?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, Kevin. I didn't know you were there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard what he said, but the bottom line is this. Von Jackson is not Kevin Cunningham, and Mike Jones is not Devon Alexander. Von Jackson doesn't have the accomplishments that I have as a trainer. Neither does Mike Jones have the accomplishments that Devon has as a fighter. So, you know, I look at what Randall Bailey says. I mean, nothing that comes out of Randall's mouth has facts to it. He just says things. So, you know, basically, you know, we just, you know, it's part of the hype. But come Saturday night, October the 20th, he's gonna realize that he's in with an elite fighter. And we all know Randall Bailey can punch, but we also know that Randall Bailey knows how to lose because he's lost 7 times. And every time he steps in the ring with an elite fighter, he gets an L. So that's the difference in what this whole conversation and all this back and forth talk is. I'm speaking facts, and this dude is just talking out the side of his neck.
Okay, last two questions for you, Kevin. You had said that you believe that he was faking the back injury. Do you still believe that? And then also, do you believe that he's out of his element when he personally engages with you as he's doing?
Yeah, he's way out of his element when he engages with me because, I mean, he doesn't have the oral skills to even deal with me on that type of level. So, you know, I do my thing. I handle everything on the outside of the ring, and Devon handles everything on the inside of the ring. And that's what a perfect team does. I do what I do. Devon does what he does, and that's what a team does. I mean, when you're dealing with Team Alexander, that's what you're dealing with, a team. Yeah, we all know fight night. Devon got to go in the ring and fight. That's his job. My job is to handle everything outside the ring, make sure he gets in position to get great opportunities, make sure his career stays relevant, all of this type of stuff. And this is a business as well as it's boxing. So that's something else that this guy doesn't understand, the business aspect of boxing. But, you know, hey, look. In the last few months, I promoted Randall Bailey more than he's been promoted in his whole 16-year career. So he should be a little more thankful and grateful.
Les, the question about his back?
Oh, come on, man. Look, the man just told you he was off resting for 2 weeks after the injury. He was on Twitter on Monday after the fight. The fight was scheduled September the 8th. On that Monday, he's on Twitter talking about he's in the gym working hard and he's feeling good. So, I mean, he needs to get it together, bro. I mean, if you was injured, you injured. Shit happens. But, I mean, if you on Twitter talking about you in the gym working hard on Monday, the Monday following the fight, I mean, or was you on bed rest for 2 weeks, or was you in the gym like you tweeted? You tell me.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, and good luck in the fight.
Okay, Randall, do you have any retort to all this that they're talking about? And then we'll get to the next question. Randall, you still there?
Kevin, yeah, I'm still here. Kevin must have got eyes everywhere because he just knows so much. He just know everything. You can't tell Kevin nothing. Kevin is like a cartoon in his own show.
Okay, next question, please. Thank you, Randall.
Our next question comes from Dan Rafael with ESPN.
Thank you very much, Randall. That was very funny about the cartoon. I was laughing when the phone was on mute. But my question for you, with this fight, is your back now? Even though you had, like you were just talking about, the couple of weeks off, is it 100% right now?
I'm good right now. You know, my sparring and everything went well. You know, I did my last day yesterday, and I'm good.
Do you feel like in the fight that you're going to have to be a little bit more active? You know, I saw your fight. I was at your fight with Mike Jones. I mean, you scored a great knockout. You know, you basically landed 2 great punches in the fight, one that knocked him down and one that knocked him out. It's the way that Devon seems to fight with his style, I guess, that you might have to have a little bit more punch output and a little bit more activity to do what you have to do against him. Do you feel like you need to be more active when you're in the ring with Devon Alexander?
I keep telling everybody that Devon is not the same size as Mike Jones. They got Mike Jones linked at 6 feet. He's got to be taller than at least 6'1.5", 6'2". You know, he was very hard to reach. Devon is smaller than me. He's not going to be hard for me to find.
Okay.
And this is what they don't understand.
Devon, what's your reaction to what Randall just said?
October 20th, they will definitely see.
Okay. Devon, do you have any remark about what Randall just said, comparing your size to Mike Jones' size?
You know, I don't see where size matter in boxing. You know, Cotto was, smaller than you. Urango was smaller than you. You fought a lot of guys smaller than you, so I don't see
smaller than me too.
You know,
you smaller than me too. I'm gonna show you what a big man do to a small man.
Oh, okay. But I just don't see what.
Don't. Cat ain't got your tongue. Keep talking. Don't stutter. They were talking. I can't get it out.
Hey, Randall, let him answer the question.
Damn, you slow. It takes him too long to tell you the truth.
I don't see what size has to do with boxing. I could be 2 feet and still come in there and do what I got to do and win the fight. So I don't see what kind of what he's trying to say or what he's trying to come up with. So I'm gonna put it like this. It doesn't matter what Randall Bailey's coming to do. It doesn't matter what he's coming to do, what he's put out, however he do it. It's about what I'm gonna do to him. So, I'm gonna implement what I'm gonna do, and we're gonna come out there with the IBF title. That's all. That's the name of the game.
Devon, let me ask you this: when you hear the talk that goes on between Kevin and Randall, I mean, you've had your say, but, Kevin's obviously an outspoken person, and, him and Randall have been engaging not only in this promotion building up to October 20th, but before the fight was postponed the last time it was scheduled. Do you sit back and just kind of laugh because, because, you and Kevin have such different personalities? Do you just sort of sit back and kind of are amused by the whole thing?
Yes, it definitely is funny, but my coach, he definitely knows what he's doing, and, I'm definitely with him 100%. So it's definitely entertaining, and like he said, this is boxing. This is an entertainment field, and you got to entertain people. You got to make people want to see the fight, So like my coach said, he did a great job promoting the fight. People want to see the fight now because of the trash talking. And, I love it because he's part of my team, so I don't mind it.
One other question for you, both you guys. This fight was the main event on Showtime that was supposed to be a few weeks ago. Now, even though the fight's still happening and there people would like to see it, you're moving on to an undercard, so maybe it's not going to get as much attention if it was the main event. I think that's fair to say. Do you have an opinion about or a thought about not being the main event anymore, or does it not make a difference to either of you guys? Randall, maybe you could start.
Don't make a difference to me. Don't make a difference to me.
Okay. Short and to the point. And Devon?
Everybody got their own job to do.
Well, of course, with me being on an elite fighter, I definitely want to be main event all the time. But, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. The fight was scheduled, for September, but now it's October, so we had to get on this card. So everything happened for a reason. So we're not going to worry about that. We just go on there and do what we got to do.
Okay, thanks to both of you guys. Look forward to the show. Thank you.
Kelly, I just want to remind everybody, this is 4 world title fights. Any of these fights could be a main event. You got 8 great fighters fighting for a world title. So any fight here on this card could be a main event.
Once again, if you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. This will place you in the question queue. And our next question comes from Melvin Jones with NBC Las Vegas 8 Count News.
Hey, fellas, how you doing? Question for you, Devon. Dan just mentioned you being in the main event last month into now being basically the fight that opens up the show. Does that give you more motivation to try to take this title next Saturday night?
Well, I'm already motivated. And it's just like, it does motivate me to go in there and even put on a more spectacular performance. But, like I said in the last question, everything happened for a reason. I'm used to being on top, the top bill, main event. But, hey, this is what happened. A fight fall off and you got to get put, on somebody else's card or whatever. So, I'm okay with that, but, I just got to do what I got to do and get back to where I feel comfortable at, which is main event.
Let me ask you this. You've been looking real strong at 47 the last 2 fights. Do you feel as though 47 is the best class for you compared to how you was at 40?
Indeed, definitely indeed. Like everybody knows, I was struggling to make 140, and now I'm 147. I got all my power, all my legs, all my energy back, and, it's going to be trouble for whoever I fight at 147 because it's a different, Devon Alexander, so it's going to be trouble for anybody.
And Randall, let me ask you this, man. I know you had trouble with your back, but as mentioned, Devon is a smaller fighter. Do you feel as though your size is going to complement you better going into the fight next week?
Definitely. I don't know what they're talking about. Even in the Marcos Madonna, he's barely making it. So I don't. These guys, they must be playing fight night boxing or some shit because. I'm pretty much done talking about it. I'm gonna show these fools.
What's your response to that?
He gives to me right now.
Hey, Devon, what's your response to that?
Huh? Response to what? I don't even know what he said.
He's basically saying that, even in the Mike Dino fight, you barely made 47. So, do you think it'll be difficult for you?
I was saying even in the later rounds of that fight, he wasn't doing as much. Matter of fact, Madonna was really keying off on him, and he wasn't the one controlling the fight in the end.
Did you see in the last round that I did the shuffle?
Yes, I saw that fight. I did see that fight. You watch it again.
All right, fellas, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm done. I'm working on it.
Our next question comes from Jeffrey Freeman with Knockout Digest.
Hi, is Devon on the call?
He's there.
Hi, is Devon still on the line?
Yeah.
Hi, Devon. You've been in the ring with some pretty big punchers, and obviously you're going to be in the ring with another big puncher on the 20th. Can you tell me, of all your fights, who would you say is the hardest that you've ever been hit by, and by who?
Well, I prone my boxing career on not to get hit. Often, this is boxing and you're going to get hit. But I prone myself not to get hit as often. But if I was to say, whoever the hardest puncher I faced, it would have been Matisse.
Lucas Matisse?
Yeah.
Did he ever hurt you in the fight? Do you feel you've ever been hurt in a professional fight?
Not at all. Because, in boxing you got to be alert. You got to know what you're doing in there. And I don't think I have ever, been hurt. Of course, I get caught with punches or whatever, but, nothing to say, oh, man, wow. So, not at all.
Very good. Thank you, Devon.
Okay, I think we have one more question, operator, and we are almost wrapping this one up, and then we're going to go ahead and turn it over to the other two fighters, but we appreciate the time that these guys take. And let me just see, operator, do we have one more call, or are we finished on this end?
We're done with those questions.
Okay, so if everybody could stand by, and we're going to go ahead and thank Randall and Devon for joining us. If we have any last comments from either one of you, or you want to go ahead and get back to training, that's fine. And we are about to get Eric Morales and Danny Garcia on the phone. So, Randall, any last-minute thoughts there? I think Randall wants to...
Thank y'all for having me.
Huh?
Look forward to... Thank y'all for having me, and look forward to October 20th.
Okay, and Devon?
Again, thanks again for having me. I'm excited about being in Brooklyn to be, crowned the new IBF champion, so I'm excited.
Okay, great, guys. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you taking...
Oh, not a dream, man.
Okay, good. Thanks again, you guys. And media, please stand by, and we are getting the other two pugilists on the phone with us. And Robert, while we're doing that, if you want to turn back to comments and talk a little bit about the two guys that are about to get on the line, that'd be great.
You want to do the reception?
Well, when you talk about Eric Morales, there's really no introduction needed. I mean, you have a multiple world champion, one of the best fighters in Mexico, one of the best fighters in the world, definitely a Hall of Famer, with a record of 52 wins, 8 losses, and 36 knockouts. The pride of Zona Norte, Eric Morales. On the other hand,
hang on. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Robert. Sorry.
The young Danny Swift Garcia, who, from the tough streets of Philadelphia, brings heart, punch, speed, power, and obviously it's a rematch of a fight that both want for different reasons, and it's a fight that many fans have been expecting, just to get back in the ring, to see the revenge.
Okay, so I think we have Danny Garcia is on the line. We are still trying to connect Eric Morales. He is training deep in the heart of Mexico, and sometimes it's difficult to connect his phone. But I think what we can do is, Danny, I'm going to need you to get into a quieter place, first of all, because we can hear the background noise, and it's going to be hard for the media to hear you.
All right.
All right, thank you. And so, Robert, I think we can open with Danny, and then we can the operator will let us know when Eric joins us. So, is that all right, Robert?
That sounds good. Danny, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Training hard. I'm ready to go.
Excellent, excellent. Well, everybody, Danny the WBC, WBA super lightweight champion, Danny Swift Garcia, 24-0, 50 knockouts out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And a little known fact that many might not know, he's also very talented in the music. Danny makes his own songs out there, right, Danny?
Yeah, I'm messing around with it.
Danny, do you have a quick one you can open the call with?
Oh, yeah, first I want to, I feel blessed just to be headlining a big card in Brooklyn. I work really hard. I've been working really hard for 8 weeks for this fight. I've been working hard my whole career for this fight. And, I just want to get the fans another great fight. And I've been training hard to make that happen. So I can't wait till October 20th. It's going to be another explosive performance.
Okay.
Thank you, Danny. Is Eric on the line yet?
No, I'm waiting for the operator to get him.
Okay.
She's trying. But I think we can go ahead and open the call up for questions for Danny. And so, operator, why don't we go ahead and start and see if we can find Mr. Morales. He might be scared already, Danny.
I will be too.
Thank you. If you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. This will place your question in the order it was received. Once again, if you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad now. And our first question comes from Dan Rafael with ESPN.
Hey, Danny, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Dan? I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Here's the thing about this fight. Now, in the first fight, you won a decision. It was a good fight, but I don't think there was any controversy about the outcome of the fight. You knocked him down, if I recall, I believe in the 11th round of the fight. So going into the rematch, would your ideal plan to be to sort of be even more of a runaway winner in this fight than you were in the first fight? To look even better in this fight, to maybe be more definitive with your victory, which perhaps would be a knockout? Or is it, you don't think about that? I know you just want to get the W.
No, I always think about just getting the W, but I feel like the first time around, the first fight, it was my first fight, on a big stage. I showed him a lot of respect, but now the tables are turned, and I'm the champion. He's the challenger. I'm confident, and I'm ready. I feel like this fight, I'm more prepared mentally and physically.
Now, if I understand it correctly, he had the option to have a rematch with you after you had an interim bout, which is what you had when you knocked out Amir Khan. And so he, invoked that rematch clause, and being a person of honor, you accepted that. But if there was not a rematch clause in your first fight, would your preference have been to, move on to some other contender or some other champion or, some other fight, or are you just as content to have another fight with Eric Morales, who, like, Robert said, will, someday, may be older at this point, but someday will be a Hall of Famer?
Me, I really don't look at who I fight. I just train. I let my manager pick out the fight, and me, I get ready, and I'm always ready for, whoever they put in front of me. I don't duck nobody, so I just fight whoever they put in front of me. I just get ready for who they put in front of me. I'm not really a matchmaker.
But you didn't have an opinion about it, though? You didn't think to yourself, I'd like to fight this guy or like to fight that guy, even though, like you said, you have your management and your promoter that handle the business part?
I never really thought about it because they said Khan was the number one guy in the division. And when I beat him, I didn't really know who else was out there.
Okay.
There are a couple of tough guys out there, but, I was just happy at the moment. I never really thought after that.
Okay, one other thing then. In the first fight, he didn't make the weight. He had the belt going into the fight. Go to the weigh-in, he doesn't make the weight, the title is vacant, you make the weight, no problem. You then go out there and win the title in the next night. So are you a little concerned at all in any way that, he's going to not make the weight a second time and cause more problems, or are you confident that that was a one-time thing for him?
I really don't know for him. I'm not worried about him. But, if he comes overweight, then he has to lose the weight. It's got to be fair this time. Same way I sacrifice and make weight, he has to do it, and that's a part of the sport.
Right, but last time he didn't lose the weight.
Yeah, that's because he was the champion. He was like, I don't care. Like, he's making good money. I wasn't making as much money as him, so it wasn't really not for him. But, this time is different. He got to make the weight.
Okay. Thank you very much, Danny.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Lem Satterfield with BrinkTV.com.
Hey, Danny, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm blessed. Is your dad on the line also?
Nah, he's not here. He's
okay. So you got to do all the talking yourself, unlike.
Yeah, I really don't talk. I just I let the hands fly.
Okay, well this is a challenge for you. Danny, my question to you is this: you are a young fighter. I think there were even some people who thought that Eric Morales would have too much experience, maybe challenge you in different ways, tricks of the trade, all of that, more than you had before and still beat you. Same thing about Khan. There were people, and I'm sure you heard it, that thought you were going to get beat. Those two wins, number one, what were some of the comments that you heard, and how were you supposed to, I guess, get beat according to what you heard? And number two, how are you a better fighter from each of those experiences?
I mean, them two fights, I was a young kid. Nobody knew who I was. So it was only right for people to think the way they were thinking. But it only made me hungrier to prove everybody wrong and win the fights. But, I was in the underdog my whole career. It just makes me hungrier to prove people wrong and just to keep winning.
The Eric Morales fight, you had some cuts. Can you talk about the adversity that you overcame in that particular fight, and how rewarding was it to kind of, put on some steam and knock him down in the 11th round and really pour it on in the end?
It gave me a lot of confidence because he's a smart vet. He tried to get me tired and then finish me off in the later rounds like he did to the other kid before the one he beat before me. So I knew I had to be in shape because he tried to play dumb for the first 10 rounds and then tried to kick it on late and get the young fighter out of there. But I was in great shape, and blood and cuts, that's what happens in boxing. It really don't happen. Really don't bother me. That's what happens when you get hit. You get cut and you bleed. So that's a part of boxing that don't really bother me.
I thought a crucial moment in the Khan fight was the second round, where your father, Angel, really got in your grill about getting out punched, about not doing certain things. So he really challenged you, and I thought that was a crucial moment where you had to respond. Can you talk about that moment, and how do you think you responded?
He was just trying to keep me focused. We knew Khan was going to come out fast. He's a fast starter. That's why they kept talking about how they're going to jump on me early and knock me out. But I knew once I adapted and I started landing my shots, we wanted to see could he take them. And the first clean punch I hit him with, he went down.
Last question for you. I talked to Lamont Peterson and his brother Anthony, who was his sparring partner before the Khan fight, and they said that they were looking to catch Amir Khan during exchanges, and maybe when he was pulling out and dropping his hands, that they could hit him squarely. And one of the punches they said they thought they could land was the left hook that you landed. Can you talk about weathering the storm offensively, because he was hitting you with some pretty good shots, but you stayed on the body and then came to the top? Can you talk about how you were able to do that, and obviously ultimately the landing the left hook was something you wanted to do?
We knew he was fast, but he's reckless. Like, he just throws punches and doesn't worry about he just throws punches and don't worry about the other guy coming back. He just puts his hands up and runs. So we knew he had no defense, so time and beat speed every day, and that's what we train for.
Will you be satisfied with a decision against Morales, or do you feel you need a knockout to improve on your last performance against him?
The past is the past. I was going to the fight ready for 12 rounds. I don't ever go looking for the knockout because that's how you get knocked out. But I'm ready for 12 smart rounds, and the KO comes, and we're going to take them out.
Thank you very much, Danny. I look forward to seeing you on October 20th.
All right, thank you.
Once again, if you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. That will place you in the question queue. Our next question comes from Jose Sanchez with the News 8.
Yes, hello, Danny. This is Jose Sanchez from El Nuevo Dia in Puerto Rico. I wanted to ask you a quick couple of questions. Your parents are Puerto Rican, and you were born and raised in Philly. Those are two areas well known for their boxing history and heritage. Do you think you combine both styles? I mean, Philly fighters are very particular. Puerto Rican fighters are also very particular in their styles. Does the background influence that? Go ahead.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like I had the, Philadelphia is a real town in boxing, a lot of smart fighters. So I definitely bring that to the ring, my smarts and my skill. And then I had the Puerto Rican blood, which is my strength and my power. So I feel like I had the best of both worlds. I had the power and I had the skill.
Also, there's a big history of a sports rivalry between Mexico and Puerto Rico in the boxing ring. How do you feel being part of that great heritage of Puerto Rico versus Mexico? And how do you think this second fight with Morales, one of the all-time greats, is going to stack up against that great history?
I think it's going to be another great fight, another tough fight. This time I'm a lot smarter, more confident, stronger. So I think it's going to be enough.
And finally, how has your life changed after your huge win over Amir Khan? I mean, you were the champion before, but beating Khan as the underdog and the way you did it must have brought a whole new light and fans to your career. Is that so? Has it changed in any way?
Yeah, it definitely changed. I get the respect. I get the respect that I deserve. A lot of people really didn't respect me. They didn't think I was a true champion, but now I prove to the world that I'm the best.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Danny.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from John DeSanto with Philly Boxing.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Danny, this fight's a rematch. So my question is, have you had a rematch before? And how do you, going into a rematch, how is that different than the first time you face a fight?
I never had a rematch in my professional career, but I had a lot of rematches in the amateurs. But this time I know what he does. I know this time he's gonna come harder than the last time, so I'm definitely more prepared for that. And I'm just gonna go in there and do what I do best and adapt to the fight and win.
Okay. And do you think it being a rematch, does it favor either one of you, you or Eric, and why?
I think it favors me because I'm the younger fighter. I learned off my mistakes, and this time I know he's bringing this. You can't teach an old horse new tricks. So I know he's gonna bring the same thing, but he's just gonna try harder. He's looking at like this is his last fight, so he's gonna put everything on the table and try to pull off a victory. But I'm ready for 12 rounds of war, and I'm gonna get the job done.
And given the fact that you want to perhaps do better in this fight than you did in the first fight, and he obviously wants to do better, do you think this fight is likely to be an even better fight than the first one?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a better fight because we both know what's in front of us, and we both training hard, and we both got something to prove, and I'm in great shape, man. I just can't wait to go out there and perform.
Okay, great. That's all I had. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
All right.
And our next question comes from Brian Graham with Sports Illustrated.
Hello?
Hello? Sorry about that. As a young champion, is there anyone in the sport that you look up to, or are you kind of past that?
I don't know, man. I definitely look up to some fighters. You know, I got a favorite fighter. I got one favorite fighter, but that's because he's not my weight class. I like Andre Ward, man. I look up to Andre Ward. He's a good fighter. We both got the same belt. He's doing his thing. Real smart fighter. I like him, and I like myself. So those are the only two fighters I like right now.
And Brooklyn's really in the spotlight right now nationally, you know, with the new building, cover Sports Illustrated this week. It's kind of a big deal around here in New York. I'm just wondering, you know, what it means to you to sort of open up boxing and sort of bring the tradition back to Brooklyn, and were you excited about it when you heard you were going to be fighting at the Barclays Center?
Man, I'm really excited. This is where I waited for my whole life to bring a big fight back to the East Coast, and there hasn't been a big fight in Brooklyn in 80 years. So just for me to be headlining that card, man, it's just a dream come true to me, and I'm training my hardest to give everybody a great performance.
All right, thanks a lot, Danny. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
And our next question comes from Jeffrey Freeman with Knockout Digest.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. Danny, speaking of Amir Khan and rematches, do you think that trainer Virgil Hunter can sort of fix Amir Khan? And is a rematch something that you're interested in, or was knocking him out once good enough for you?
I mean, like I said before, I don't choose my fights, and I don't really worry about other fighters. If they're next, they're next. But right now, I'm focused on Eric Morales, and it's a big fight in front of me, and I got to get through this.
Speaking of Morales, what did you think of the shape that Eric Morales was in for the first fight? And do you think that he can train himself into a better performance this time?
You know, I really don't know. Only he knows himself. But I'm preparing myself for a war. He's a Mexican warrior. He has a lot of experience, and I gotta be ready for all his tricks and whatever he brings to the table.
Assuming you win this contractually obligated rematch, what are your plans moving into 2013? Who would you like to defend your title against, or are you looking for fights outside of your division?
Me, I never look past my opponent, so I don't even think of that kind of stuff. My main focus right now is Eric Morales. I got a tough task in front of me, and I gotta get past this.
What's your prediction for the fight, Danny?
Danny Garcia win all the way. Whether it come by knockout or come by decision, I'm ready for 12.
Very good. Thanks, Danny. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Quick. Just let me check. Eric Morales, is Eric Morales on the call? I was told that he might be on, but yeah, I don't hear any background. Okay. Thanks, operator.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I think that's it. Briselda, do we have any more questions for Danny?
No, Mr. Freeman was the last one.
Okay, Danny, we thank you for your time. We really appreciate it, and we know you're training hard tomorrow. Danny Garcia will have his own media day in Philadelphia for the Philadelphia Press, and I tell you, they are coming out strong for Mr. Garcia. He is certainly making his name and shining his light on the boxing world with his victories over the last several months. So, Danny, congratulations, and we look forward to watching you fight in Brooklyn. Terrific rematch with Eric Morales. Unfortunately, Eric Morales was unable to call into today's call, but we will try to get some quotes from Mr. Morales to add to the transcript for this call. Danny, any last comments before we get going?
And for this start for these next 8 weeks, and I'm just gonna go get my own Philadelphia fans and New York fans a great fight, and I'm come out on top. I expect a lot of Philadelphia people in the building, a lot of Brooklyn people. I'm just excited, and I can't wait to perform.
Okay, great, Danny. Robert.
Take care, Danny. We'll see you next week. Once again, everybody, thank you so much. The Unified Super Light World Champion, WBA, WBC, and Ring Magazine champ, Danny Swift Garcia.
All right. Bye-bye.
remind everybody, thank you for being on the call. Thanks to Showtime, our sponsors, DeWalt, AT&T, and we'll be bringing it back to Brooklyn after 80 years, October 20th. Don't miss it. 4 world title fights.
Thanks, everybody. Bye, Danny. Good looking out, champ.
Thank you for joining us today. That concludes today's conference call.
Kelly. Kelly. Kelly.